Spidey-Fans, it's your friendly neighbourhood ultimate Spider-Man fan here. Sorry if you couldn't understand me there, I said it pretty fast, sorry. Yeah, hi Spidey-Fans, it's your friendly neighbourhood ultimate Spider-Man fan here. And welcome back to my next video on me reading my epic Marvel Spider-Man PS4 related book, Hostile Takeover. We're just going to finish off chapter 6 this time. I hope I'm right there. Yeah, chapter 6. Well, 26. Well, I think you know what I meant if you've seen my last video. If you haven't, just check it out. But yeah, I'll just say my normal like, subscribe, comment, share, favourite, hit the bell notification favourites, and then follow me on Twitter as well. Type in the @ all capitals without spaces, the ultimate Spide, S-P-I-D. And I'll just reread that last sentence so you can get caught up. So I'm on Benham at the minute, Blood Spider. So right. The kind with the little marshmallows that melted while you poked them with a plastic stick. They gave him clean clothes to wear and a tuna sandwich that was unlike any tuna sandwich he'd ever had before. It was thick with creamy tuna salad, and it had little black olives in it, which surprised him, but he liked them. We'd like to take you someplace, the lady told him. She was pretty and he liked looking at her. You'll be warm all the time and you'll have plenty to eat and drink. There will be clean clothes on a bed. People thought Benham was stupid, but he wasn't stupid. No one did nice stuff like this without wanting something in return. He understood that. What will I have to do? She smiled, appreciating how smart he was. She had funny glasses that were very long rectangles with bright green frames. He didn't know how he felt about those. We want to test some medicines, she explained. They might make you healthier than you are right now, but I'll tell you the truth, they might make you sick. But if you were to get sick, we'd take care of you. Benham could picture himself lying in the bed, the pretty lady with the funny glasses taking his temperature, or bringing him bowls of soup on a, sorry, I said soap there, I got it wrong. Bowls of soup on a tray, the way his mother had before she changed. His mother had given him medicine that made him feel better, and let him watch TV as much as he wanted. That didn't seem so bad to him. He would be willing to do that. So he signed the papers that said he agreed to do what they asked, and the pretty lady told the man in front of the van to drive. It took a long time to get where they were going, and Benham couldn't tell much about it because the van had no windows. The van stopped and they climbed out inside a garage that was probably underground. It was cold and his footprints echoed. The pretty lady with the glasses walked him through some doors and handed him over to a man in a uniform who did not smile at all. Benham never saw the pretty lady with the glasses again. He thought they were going to a house just like the house he grew up in, only nicer, with softer beds and prettier furniture, soup bowls that weren't chipped, and forks with all the tines pointing in the same direction. It wasn't like that at all. It was more like the hospital where they brought his mother when she became sick. He hadn't thought they were talking about him being sick like his mum, but that was exactly what the pretty lady meant. They meant sick like his mum and worse. He didn't even have his own room. He shared it with 5 other men, but not always the same 5, because things kept happening to the others. They would get sick. Sometimes they became feverish and thrashed in their beds. Sometimes they threw up soapy liquid or blood, or one time what seemed to be the man's own stomach. They grew lumps on their faces and bodies. They screamed and cried for their mothers. They soiled themselves in the night, and Benham found them lying open-eyed and still in the morning. One man caught his own face off while the others watched. No one brought him soup. They did have a television, which was nice. They were supposed to be nice to each other. There were security guards, and it was their job to step in when someone stole another person's pudding cup or hogged the TV, or it was just mean because they liked being mean. Zane was mean because he liked being mean. Most of the men were quiet and minded their own business, the way Benham tried to, but Zane but Zane was mean from the beginning. He liked to trip the other patients or yank down their pajama pants just because he thought it was funny to see someone's spot. He stole food and threw it at people, and he would take the TV remote and not give it back because he said there was nothing as good on TV as watching the babies cry when they didn't get their way. Zane said Bingham was fat, though he knew he had lost a lot of weight since leaving home, and he was losing more now. They didn't get that much. They didn't get that much to eat, and they thought the medicine was making him thinner. Sometimes he'd like to say, "I'm slim" to people, but not to Zane, because Zane would make fun of him. Most of the security guards would step in if Zane took things too far, not at first, because that would mean putting down their phones or their magazines or whatever they were using to pass the time. Eventually, though, they would do something. Not Migra. Not Migraine. I know, I'm trying to say that word, Spidey-Fans. Migraine. He was kind of old and kind of lazy. He had a shiny bald head with a fringe of grey and a strangely round nose with a big red growth on it. His eyes were weirdly tiny, and he laughed when they hurt themselves. McGregor liked Zane. At first he only laughed when Zane was being mean, like he was watching a funny movie, but then he started to help. The two of them would play catch with the TV remote, or Zane would hand McGregor someone's dinner tray, and the guy would dump it in the toilet. Then the business was Reese, who was close to being Bingham's friend. He didn't make a lot of friends, but Reese was really nice to him, and so Bingham tried being nice back. They sometimes talked about things they remembered from the old days, or they would sit quietly and watch TV together. It seemed like they could do that for hours and not get bored. One day Reese started choking. They hadn't been eating anything, so at first Bingham thought it was a cough, but it kept getting worse. Reese hacked and wheezed and fell over. His face turned red and he clawed at his throat. There was an emergency call button, and McGregor stood his finger on the button, but he didn't press it. He just stood and watched, grinning the whole time. Bingham decided he would press the button if McGregor wouldn't, but Zane wouldn't let him. He held Bingham, and McGregor stood, watched while Reese twitched on the floor for a long time. Hang on, Spidey-Fans just want to see how many more pages. One more page, not bad. Okay, probably will be a short one. Where was I there? Yeah, for a long time. Then the twitching became weaker, and Reese lay, his mouth open, his eyes glassy, a strain appearing on the floor underneath him. McGregor pressed the button. Seizure in room 70, said in a clipped voice. The minute he took his finger off the button, he and Zane broke out in laughter. They high-fived like they just watched their favourite team score. It was after they took Reese's body away that Bingham came to realise that he was different. He wasn't exactly who he used to be. It wasn't like he was growing, or like part of the old Bingham was gone and something else had appeared in its place. He was part old and part new. That's how it seemed to him. His body was changing, but it was still his body. He thought things he'd never thought before, but they were still his thoughts. There was probably a word for when this happened, but he didn't know it. Later that day, when Zane asked him if he was going to cry for his boyfriend, Bingham took him by the hair and smashed his face into the floor until there really wasn't a whole lot left of Zane's head. It broke, and the stuff that had been inside was everywhere. McGregor pressed the button really fast that time, and he wasn't breathing either by the time the staff got here. They took Bingham to the director's office. The director worked for the boss, who was a very important man. No one wanted to upset the director, and especially didn't want to upset the boss. Bingham had done both, and while he didn't love living in the facility, he wasn't sure he was ready to go back outside where it was cold and there wasn't enough to eat. Now that Zane and McGregor were gone, things wouldn't be so bad. It didn't seem right somehow that the very thing that would make his life more bearable would be the thing that got him cast out. The director was an older man with a long nose and a white beard. He looked very serious, but not exactly angry. There were some questions at first about whether or not Benham understood that what he'd done was wrong, but the man didn't really seem to care very much about the answers. He was much more interested about whether or not Benham had ever hurt anyone before, if he had intended to hurt Zane and McGregor, and if he'd known he could do the things he did. The director wrote down everything Benham said in response to these questions. Being listened to was a strange feeling. Benham discovered that he liked it. Have you been feeling any different lately? The director wanted to know. Stronger, maybe? I feel good, Benham said. More awake, I guess. Like, I know everything that's going on. I didn't know that I felt stronger until that thing happened. But you felt stronger when you attacked those men? Yes, Benham said. Am I in trouble? Not at all, the director said. Not if you're willing to help us. How can I help you? By taking more medicine, the director said. It doesn't make me sick, so okay. The boss will be very pleased to hear that, the director said. It turned out that Benham wasn't punished for what he had done to those two men. Instead, they gave him his own room. He had a TV that he controlled by himself, and no one tried to take his food away. And that's bringing us on to chapter 27, Spidey-Fans. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So I'll check how many pages there are after that, and then we'll do the next part soon, and then I'll have that up. Like, as I'm recording this, I've actually got, like, you're saying this at the last minute. I'm actually, well, I've already said to him, recording these, I'm recording these, I've recorded these, but you're watching this now. I've actually recorded these ages ago. So, other than that, yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see all you Spidey fans and all with my next epic Spidey videos. It's your friendly neighbourhood, Spider Cap, over and out. Flip, 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 flip.